probably hear my son in the background. He's got a really bad mood. He's with his daddy, but he's crying, and we have no idea what's wrong. But he's been like that, moody, since a couple of hours ago. Anyway, there was something I wanted to share with you, and I've been trying to video it, so I'm just going to go through with it, do it, so I can go back to playing and cuddling with Ryuji. We had a really interesting weekend where we had different workshops, and we have some speakers that were on video, which was such a blessing. We got to enjoy. The brothers are all the way in New Jersey giving their talks at the International Convention, and what a wonderful blessing. There were so many good pieces. One of my favorite was there was a group of youngsters who were talking about imagine what life would be like in paradise. What do you want to do? And my husband, who is currently actually not a believer, but he goes along with me every time, so it was such a blessing to have him there and come back home and ask me, so if you are in paradise, what would you do for thousands and thousands of years? When he first asked me, I went blank. I mean, I probably haven't thought about it much. And then maybe 15 minutes later, after I was like thinking, I mean, I look forward to not being sinful anymore, and I look forward to being perfect and wonderful, just like Jesus and God. But I mean, I never really clarified that to myself. So then I started thinking, and then I told him, and it's the funniest thing, because it's 3 things that I totally want to do. Like, and if I could live 1,000 and 1,000,000 years, that's what I would do. And I go between different seasons, and you're going to be shocked. First, I would like to weave and loom my own fabric. I would love to just spend ages and ages with, creating my skeins, dyeing my fleece, dyeing my wool, dyeing my different hemp fabrics and cotton fabrics, and just have all these skeins of all these different materials and going like, okay, for the next 100 years or next 10 years, I'm going to be working on this huge piece of turquoise or red or burgundy or scarlet, maybe yellow or rainbow color or something awesome. Like, I love woven wraps. I love to look at them. I don't want to use them. That's the funny part. So the funny part about my story, what I want to do in paradise is, aside from spending ages and ages, between everything else that we have to do to serve God, I want to be able to be making those fabrics. And I just imagine myself looking over the water as I'm in the ocean, and making sure that the dyes don't come off, because you have to salt treat them. So I'd be like this long-haired forest lady living in a cabin with her skeins and going to the ocean and like putting these mile-long pieces of fabric in the water as they wash so that the colors are fast. That's one. And I'm like, I told Diego, I don't even need to make anything with the fabrics. I just hang them in my cabin, which is completely open. No windows, no doors, nothing locked, no alarms, no fences. And I hang them there and put signs. Take for your own pleasure. And just let people who are passing by to take fabric and use it for their clothes, for their home. I just want to make the fabric. That's all. And then the other thing that it dawned upon me today was I was listening to The Soil and the Sun, which is one of my favorite bands. They're like futuristic, spiritual, folk, New Mexican music. It's like spacey, but it's a beautiful kind of rock with lyrics that are about God, and I really appreciate them very much. But in any case, they were singing, and there's like a 12-man band, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to double check, but there's a lot of them, and they play a lot of instruments. Like, you would hear the clarinet, the tuba, the violin, the guitar, the bass guitar, even xylophones. It's so awesome. And I was like, told my husband, oh yeah, today I'm like, I need to add something. I need to address a change. Not only do I want to do the fabrics and the other thing, which I haven't mentioned yet, but I also so want to have like these gatherings with 12 other musical people, or 30, I don't know. I mean, as many as we can muster up, and do like poetry, singing, dancing, pre-sing, candlelit, overnight in the morning, in the days, just through every season possible. And people come in and they enjoy and they leave and they come back. And it's just wonderful, happy praising. And I would just be singing and banging on something because I don't play instruments, I just sing. But that's what I would like to do for a couple of months or maybe even a year. And then when I'm done, you know, we're like, okay guys, time to keep going. I mean, we've got time. We can do this kind of thing and worship and praise. And then when I'm done with that phase and I have enough miles of fabric for other people to enjoy and benefit, I take off and I go to my underwater house. Underwater house where I'm going to live for a couple of years or maybe even a couple hundred years, just enjoying the marvels of underwater life and the ocean and the corals and the sea anemones and all that stuff that is down there, just to explore it. Imagine that I would be able to go swimming and discover what is under the sea. So those are the things I would like to do. And if you don't know this about me, I'm a Jehovah's Witness. So we study the Bible, and according to the Bible, people will inherit the earth. So although there will be people who go to heaven to rule as kings and priests and princes with Jesus Christ, our reigning king, there will be people inhabiting this beautiful earth that God made for us to inherit and to cherish and to enjoy. Because seriously, Jehovah God made life on earth to be happy. So I have an earthly hope. I look forward to making this earth the paradise He intended and bringing it back to the way it was before our parents dropped the ball and disobeyed God. So that's what I believe, and because of that, I also have this strong faith and hope that one day I'll live on the earth and enjoy those things that I love to do. And I wonder, just if you knew you could live forever and ever and ever and ever in a place with no hate, no crime, no pain, no sorrow, what would you do with your life? Of course, always after praising God, of course, and worshiping Him.